All right. Man, what a beautiful place. Since the clouds are here, everybody freaking left. Except for one or two. But this is like the best time to roam around. Freaking exhausted. I was running. Nah, I'm kind of all pooped out. Anyway, on this one, what I want to talk about is the fact that the vast majority of people, right, are not designed to be MGTOW. They're not designed to be monk, right? And so, if you are an individual that doesn't really want to be it, but you feel like you have to be, I'm gonna tell you right now, right, that's very stupid, right? My advice would be, go and live your life, right? If you really wanted to chase women, you go ahead and chase women, right? There's a Statue of Liberty, right? Don't try to fool yourself into believing that you are something that you're not, right? MGTOW was supposed to be for the elite, right? And I don't mean like elite as far as like money and this and that, right? I mean just like elite. So when I say elite, right, I'm not trying to say like financially, right? I'm talking about mentally, right? The vast majority of the men that are MGTOW, right? So like the MGTOW monks that I know in real life, they're all, and I mean every one of them, is a millionaire. Right? And it's always easier to become a millionaire when you go monk, because you're not wasting, well, you have so much time and you have so much energy, right, to dedicate towards your pursuits, towards your wants and needs, right, versus towards other people's wants and needs. And you don't find that often. Believe it or not, you are not going to find that very often. Right? Most of the times, people are just spending all day, every day, living the life that other people want you to live, and not the life that you want to live. And that's a tragedy. But like I said, this philosophy was never, it was never designed. And I think the biggest problem is the fact that the people, or the vast majority of the men that are attempting to persuade themselves to believe that they are, MGTOW, or they're red pill, or they're monk, right? I mean, like, you're just fooling yourself, right? Because you're not MGTOW, you're not red pill, you're not black pill, right? If everything is always about women, right? So again, right? MGTOW is for that elite, for those elite men, right? It's basically for people that can actually control their sexual desire. It doesn't mean that you don't have sexual desire, but it means that you can control it, right? I'm not sitting home all day, playing with myself. I'm not doing any of that, right? I'm sitting at home figuring out more ways to make more money, figuring out what other books to read, figuring out what other places I want to go and visit, right? Every day I think about me, right? How to make my life and my family's life better. And it's not about other people. And so one thing that got screwed up is now you have all of these, what you really have is, I hate to say it, right? Because it sucks. But you have losers pretending to be something that they're not, right? And I'm not going to say the word incels, because there's no such thing as an incel, right? That phrase, that terminology is completely and utterly stupid, because you have tons and tons of women who are incels, or femcells, I guess you're called. And so obviously, you have plenty of femcells out there for all the incels. If you want to, like I said, all that terminology is just complete and utter stupidity, and it really shows the people that use those terms. It shows the level of their intellect. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm not the one that believes in that. But my thing is that I think that the vast majority of people should stop living this lie, because for the vast majority, it is a lie, right? Like they want to claim, that they're a MGTOW and use that as an excuse as to why you can't get a woman, right? Or I'm a feminist and use that as an excuse to why I can't get a man. No, it's just because you're probably a piece of garbage person, which is okay. That can all be fixed, right? The first rule is to understand your problems and then work on them and fix the problems. That's it, right? Nobody's born with those skills, right? So you have to work on them. But don't live a lie, right? 'Cause I mean, it's dumb. You only have one life, right? So you only live one time, and you're going to spend your one time or your one life lying to yourself and avoiding the pleasure that you truly want. Is it really pleasurable? No, it's not. But if it is pleasurable to you, then go chase it, right? It's nobody, and I mean nobody in the MGTOW community gives a damn whether you get married or not, right? Nobody cares, right? I don't care. Nobody else cares, because we're living our own lives, right? What you do with your life is not going to have any impact on me, because I took myself out of that equation, right? Which is also good, because now there's one more woman for you, right? And in my case, I have a couple of friends, so now there's even more women for you to choose, right? And I'm not gonna shame you. I'm not going to name call you. You do your thing, man, right? For me, what's pleasurable and what's exciting and what I like is being a MGTOW monk, because it fits my lifestyle, and if it wasn't for MGTOW, I would have just been a regular old bachelor. But same thing, MGTOW, bachelor, same stuff. Oh my crap, it's raining. I'm gonna get caught in the freaking rain out here. But don't live a lie, right? I mean, like I don't know how else to say it, right? It's very dumb. You see so many people out here, right, talking about I'm a MGTOW, I'm black pill, right? But then it's every other word that comes out of their mouth is about women, right? And it's like, just go and get a girlfriend, right? So obviously now you have to understand, right? Because we always say the same thing, right? Or the people you say, when I say we, I mean the men. Men go to women and say, to lower their standards. Well, you're gonna have to lower your standards too, right? Because you can't be working at Wawa or at Walmart or at a car dealership, right? Making $10,000 or $30,000 a year, and now you expect a supermodel. That's never gonna happen. You can't even afford a supermodel, right? So you're gonna have to lower your standards to some girl that might be overweight. I mean, realistically, right? Like 50-60% of the goddamn women in the U.S. are overweight, right? And the trend is going, it's going that way worldwide, right? You can see it. Everybody's getting fat because nobody wants to walk, nobody wants to do anything, and the other reason is that nobody has time, right? So you have no time to cook, no time to do anything, so you're just stuck eating, McDonald's, and that garbage is going to kill you. But don't live a fake life, right? Go chase it. Go get you a girlfriend. Go get you a boyfriend. If you want to be gay, go be gay. If you want to be trans, go be trans. It's your life, man. I don't care. Don't let anybody on YouTube tell you what you can and can't do or what you can and can't be. This is just simply information, right? MGTOW is a philosophy, right? But it's like anything else, right? It's just information, right? Think of religion. Religion is a philosophy. It's a base of, it's rules to live by. But the vast majority pick and choose which rules they want to, live by. So why can't you do the same thing? do the same thing, right? Pick the rules that you like, that fit your lifestyle, and live by those rules. And ultimately, as long as you don't hurt anybody, and as long as you're not lying, cheating, and hurting others in the society, yeah, you're fine. Go live your life, enjoy it. And then obviously, any individual that's a true MGTOW, right, will wish nothing but the best for you. Right? There's also no reason to ever be mad at women, because it's pointless, because that's just their nature, right? It's stupid to be mad at nature. Right? I'm not mad at a lion that it will freaking, maul me to death and eat me alive, right? I just don't mess around with the lions. But I'm not mad at the lion. I mean, that's ridiculous. And the same thing goes with women, right? No point to be upset. No point to doing any of that. One more time. Because there's nothing any of us are going to do to change it, right? Realistically, what are you going to do to change nature? There's nothing. You can't change nature, and neither can women, right? But you can change your life, right? So go do whatever makes you happy. If you get married in this day and age, just understand that it's a twin cost, right? 50-50, you're getting divorced, you're going to lose half of your crap. If you have nothing to lose, well, you got nothing to lose then. So you have nothing to worry about, right? Yeah, I mean, it's messed up to say it, but, realistically, it doesn't make sense for the vast majority of people to believe, to live this lie, to tell themselves, I'm red pill, or that's the reason I'm not dating. Because for the vast majority, it's not. And you can see it, right? You can see that crap. And as I'm walking around the city, right? You see a girl. She's got a nice body shape. She's beautiful. All of that stuff, right? And you'll see, the guys are all looking, right? And it's just but they're too cowardly, right? And they're too much of a coward to go and say hi. I mean, I understand, right? The fact that they can, they can tell you that, they can call, sexual harassment, all that. I mean, okay. Realistically, the likelihood of that happening to the vast majority of men is slim to zero, right? That's just completely overblown, right? And that is part of the, that's red pill, and that's all these grifters pushing their garbage agenda to try to make money, right? Let's be honest. The vast majority of women out here, right? Ain't nobody sexually harassing these women, right? I mean, they are butt fucking ugly. All right, let's be honest, right? Who's sexually harassing a 350-pound woman? Come on, right? Who's harassing a woman that looks like she fell down a tree and hit every ugly branch on the planet? Come on, right? And if you look at them, right? I mean, one day I'll do it. As I walk, I'm gonna just put my camera on my phone. I'm gonna record it, and you can see the kind of women that are in the city, right? Old, wrinkly, right? Used and abused, mentally fucked up, physically fucked up, and emotionally fucked up. And anybody that, generally speaking, right? Any sane person, any sane man will stay as far away from them as humanly possible, unless you want your life to be completely screwed up. That's realistically what's going on, right? Not to say that they're gonna accuse you of sexual harassment, unless you're actually going there and you're sexual harassing, right? You can't go to somebody and be like, hey, nice tits. That is sexual harassment, right? So, but there's nothing wrong with going and talking, saying hello to a person. If you want to. If you don't. Peace.